acquainted with replacing doorknobs. At one time, I thought it was the most difficult thing I ever had to undertake. Then I removed the doorknobs of the office and the pantry doors. This week, I faced the task of boring the hole in the door to install the new knobs and questioned whether I'm up to the task without severely damaging the door. Hi, my name is Elizabeth. Welcome to my homestead. I'm glad you could drop by. My plan this week, my goal, was to put on the switch plates and install the doorknobs on the office and the pantry door. And 2 days before this video was due to go out, I hadn't even started. To put the doorknobs on, I had to drill the holes in the doors. And yeah, was I procrastinating? Maybe. Yes? No? I won't deny that I was scared. I mean, what could go wrong using a giant drill bit in a door with no experience? Damage beyond repair, damage beyond what I could repair, damage beyond what I could afford to replace. It was a realistic fear, I think. On top of all of that, when I opened the outlet covers, I took one look at the switch plate for the light switch and went, oh, this is not going to fit. And sure enough, it wasn't. The trim and the paneling was in the way. I did not know what I was going to do about that. Sometimes having to solve problems can be paralyzing. In both cases, I felt overwhelmed by the tasks and the potential of what could go wrong. I could put the jobs off till next week. There were loads of things that I have to do, but in many cases there were design elements that just had not been decided yet, and I was pretty well paralyzed trying to figure out what exactly was it I wanted to get done. And I kept going back to the doors, and I kept trying to think of what to do. And I did a little bit of research, and I found out that you could get dummy doorknobs that don't turn. And I thought, well, that's a solution. So I thought, well, try. And that's what this is all about. It is trying new things. So let's try. And if I fail, I fail. But I am going to try because I'm not doing anything else. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to try and drill the holes and replace the doorknobs. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll come up with a creative solution to fix it. In the meantime, I'm going to try. So let's go. I decided to go with the easy stuff first. Well, I mean, why not, right? So I replaced the plug covers and discovered that I have other decisions that I need to make, but that's going to be for another day. But when I got to the one behind the cabinet, and I discovered that it too was too big because of the trim and the paneling, but I tried it anyway, and it went on. So that was good. I basically had the idea that if it wasn't going to fit, I was just going to see what I could do about finding a longer screw. There was no way I was going to try and cut anything on that wall. It wasn't worth it. I would have probably had to get yet another tool to do it, and not going to happen. So I figured a longer screw would do the job, but as it turns out, I could get it on, and I didn't really need to shim it. So that was another really good bonus piece. And I'm really, really pleased with how it looks. To drill the hole in the door for the door handles, I used a door lock installation kit. And it comes with a jig that is adjustable to different latch back sets, a hole saw for the drill, and a spade bit to drill out for the hole for the latch. Basically, I used the existing circle that was on the door, where I'd painted around the door handle, or where paint had been applied around the door handle in various different ways. I use that as sort of a guide as to where where to start drilling, and the final hole was not that far off from where the original door handle was. You use screws for the latch, screws that hold in the latch to hold the jig in place. And there were existing holes in the door already because it already had a latch. And that's where I ran into some problems because I couldn't get the screws to stay in, which kind of made the jig a little unstable. But I found that once I got started and sort of was drilling into the door, it didn't seem to matter that much. I found it a bit difficult to drill to start with because of the screws not holding, but also it took a lot of pressure, and the door, just the general movement of the door, no matter what you do, it's kind of hard to stop that. Because the door had already sort of been drilled, like the whole latch mechanism had already been drilled, I sort of viewed the door as having two parts that I had to do the bore hole. And when I did this second one, the bit itself kept overheating and I had to keep stopping. And I stopped just before I was all the way through. There was just a small section to do, and when I finally went back to it, I wasn't paying attention and just pushed it through and broke the door. And it was funny, I was looking at it thinking, okay, this is what I was afraid of. It's not a hard thing to fix. I don't know what I was thinking was going to break or how terrible it was going to be, but honestly, that's not that bad. So I've got a layer of spackle on it, and that dried, and then a layer of paint. It's going to take 3 more coats to repaint that section of door, but I'm awfully pleased with myself. Paralyzed by indecision? Yeah, that was me this week. Is that procrastination? Probably, but sometimes I think you have to let this happen. In this instance, I really don't think I had thought through what was really bothering me about the project and what I was fearing the most. And doing the research helped, but when I finally decided to just go for it, it was really freeing. I had given myself permission to fail. And I think that was what I was fearing the most, was failing. And in fearing failing, I wasn't even trying. And the funny thing is that when I tried, I didn't fail. I don't think I failed. I think I succeeded, and I succeeded well, and I was so pleased with myself. Not only did I drill, but I fixed the damage, and I'm pretty sure by the time I finish fixing it, you're not going to be able to even know. So I've got the hole, the torn off piece plastered, and a couple coats of paint on it. It's going to take a couple more. And I'm going to let the paint season so that it doesn't stick to the doorknob when I put it on. So stay tuned for next week, and whatever it is that I'm doing, I will include shots of the doors with the new door handles on. So I'll definitely be putting the next doorknob on now that I chased away my fears and know that I can do it. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. In the end I did, but it took me a while. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up, and I would love it if you'd subscribe and join our community. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time with door handles. Bye for now.